All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Oh, God, what an embarrassment. It's been a while since I did that, like a week maybe. Start the music and then walk away. I don't know how great this looks. We talked about Trump posting about the helicopter/plane crash. 9 days ago, Trump fired the head of the TSA and the Coast Guard. A lot of people know that. And he also wiped out the Key Aviation Safety Advisory Committee. Oh, so if you're Trump, you're like, oh, no. Who did we fire? Did we hire Black Hawk helicopter controller guy? No. Oh, shit. That's bad. All right. Fuck me. That is rough. Trump is at it again, too. This is crazy to me that this even happened. Trump earlier in the week said, I am freezing grants and loans to pretty much everything. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. I think the president is calling me right now. Hello, Eric Zane Show Podcast. Who's this?
Big Fred saying this is your favorite president. How are you?
Mr. President, it's been way too long. Where have you been?
Well, I've been very busy. I've been getting inaugurated and wonderful things, actually. I'm in the Presidential Museum right now, right outside Washington. I've got a event. It's an amazing event, actually. I think you would like it a lot, actually. So I'm in the motorcade.
Well, I can understand how busy you've been, but sir, it seems to me like isn't there like a tragedy to be? Shouldn't you be like doing something else besides whatever it is you were saying you're doing because of that plane that went down? You know.
Well, it's awful odd, actually. These Russian figure skaters and things like that are on these airplanes. We don't know. And it's like, I don't know, is Putin going to be upset that we killed his people? I don't know. Okay, yeah, I didn't even mention that because, you know me, I'm kind of last one to talk about things. There was I don't know how many of them were on there, but I guess there's a bunch of Russian figure skaters, you said? Oh, there's so many. I guess there's like 2 or 3. I don't know. The details are still very sparse. They're still cleaning out bodies and things like that from the river. I guess it's very tragic what's happened.
Okay, I saw your post on social media, and you were kind of like trying to solve the crime right away, you know, saying that the helicopter could have gone up or down or turned.
Right, and look, you know this probably actually better than anyone because, look, I'm the expert of all things. You know, I was the expert of COVID. I was the expert of our economy and great business deals. And I'll tell you this, in terms of commercial aviation, probably nobody knows more than Trump, actually. I have a wonderful plane. I don't know if you know about it, but we have a fleet of airplanes. And so I know a lot. I know a lot about all these things. And what I'm going to tell you is that the National Transportation Safety Board needs to spend a lot of time. They need to spend a lot of time looking into this because that aircraft, that helicopter, which I understand was military, it should have had complete and total situational awareness of the flight, and it did not. It could have easily maneuvered any direction, but it seems to have maneuvered into the aircraft, which is terrible. Okay,
sir, you just spent a lot of time really saying nothing, but, you know, no big deal, I guess. You sound like you're a little bit under the weather. Do you have a little scratchy throat, sir?
I do have a bit of a throat, but I'm also in the motorcade, and we're driving like 70 miles an hour down the highway. So it's you know, we're very, very busy this morning.
Yeah, with that,
It's actually one of the things I wanted to cap you for. You know, we're bringing in some of the best administration, actually. And I was looking to see if you wanted to be tapped for a wonderful position in the administration.
Maybe. What is the job, sir?
Well, I know that you've got a big problem, a big bone to pick with terrestrial radio and all that stuff, and I'm looking for a new director of the Federal Communications. Do you think you could do that?
Oh.
Do you think you could run the FCC?
Oh, absolutely. I would have a terrific knowledge of that. I would right away roll back the 1996 Telecommunications Act and present it to you to get rid of that law, which has monopolized the entire industry, Mr. President.
I think that's a great reason that you should be in charge of this, because it's a terrible, terrible policy enacted by Clinton, by the way.
Yes, it is.
And it was a terrible, terrible policy, and it needs to be eradicated. And I think you could probably, look, this is the administration of revenge. And I think you've got a lot of revenge.
I do.
You could probably take care of at the FCC.
You know.
So we need somebody like you on that board.
No, seriously, sir. I didn't vote for you, and I've said multiple times that you're a huge piece of shit. But if we can, look past that, I think we could work very well together. What do you think about that?
Oh, I think it's a tremendous idea, and big fraud. And look, I mean, we've got the best administration. We're going to have RFK. We're going to have wonderful people. Soon, big fraud's going to be on that too, and you're going to be part of the administration of revenge.
Okay.
We just have to get you through the tiny, tiny little confirmation hearing. No big deal, but you can do that, big fraud, can't you?
All right, yeah, absolutely. I think I'd be great at it, sir. And you need someone on there.
Matt Gaetz couldn't do the confirmation. He was not good for the confirmation.
I'm sorry?
Matt Gaetz was not good for confirmation.
No.
People.
Yeah, I was surprised that you even nominated. I think he's people say that he likes to touch children, sir.
Well, I mean, we don't know. We don't know what he does, but what he does do is wonderful things, actually. Great things for the state of Florida.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's actually pretty amazing when you look at his track record of child pornography and such forth, which I think is going to come to light, but, that's all on him.
Okay. All right. Well, you have nothing to do with that. So, hey, congratulations on your big sentence in the hush money case.
I have so much to do with it, and thank you for the wonderful opportunity, again, Big Fraud, to be on your program. And I want to say, we need to talk more. We need to talk a lot more, because we're going to get you into the FCC, and we're going to do great things with the FCC. I'm going to try to make it official very soon.
All right.
So you'll be hearing from our people.
That's fantastic, and good luck in the press conference about the big crash. We're looking to hear what you have to say.
Well, I'm thinking, I'm workshopping. I always workshop with you. And I'm thinking about going the whole EZSP angle and saying, the situational awareness of the helicopter pilot was clearly at fault. I think it's so obvious.
Yeah. Blame him.
There was like a Pakistan guy or something. I don't know. We haven't reported him yet.
You could just say he was like an illegal alien or something.
I think so. I think we're going to put him on the news, and they put him on there, and he was talking about how he heard these explosions and things like that. So we're going to try to get in touch with him as well, and we're going to make a wonderful statement you're going to see. But I think that it's such a tragedy, and we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it probably better than anyone's fixed these tragedies. And I feel so bad for the Russian figure skaters. I want to say that these poor people, they're not even from America. They're in Russia. They thought they were safe, and then a helicopter plowed right into them. Terrible.
Okay, sir, thank you. It's very interesting how you always basically just say the same thing in the simplest terms and makes it seem that much more ridiculous. I appreciate you as always, sir.
Well, it's because I have so much knowledge. I have so much knowledge of aircraft.
Okay, I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go.
The Boeing 747s, you wouldn't believe them. They've got so many problems at Boeing, actually, and we're going to fix Boeing.
All right,
we're going to fix Boeing. They're going to be America's greatest aircraft manufacturer when you think about it.
Yeah. All right, sir, I gotta go. I can't talk to you anymore, sir.
What do you mean you can't do it?
I'm out of time.
You're going to be the FCC on the program, of course. Well, call me after. We're going to talk about this whole FCC thing.
Okay.
I think it's a great idea.
All right. Thank you, sir. Sir? He just hangs up. Trump, he had all that funding that he was like, I'm freezing the funding. You can't fund your DEI anymore. You can't fund suicide helpline. You can't fund your schools anymore. And he's going to wipe it all out. And then Megan called like her congressman. And I said on this show, that's not going to help you. I was wrong. It did help because yesterday he did a 180. He said, that was a mistake. We're not doing that now. So I was talking with Nick about that when it was dart time before the game. And, he's like, yeah, well, a lot of the people that are his supporters rely on the aid that is, these are people that live on the wrong side of a hard living line. So I don't know, maybe that had something to do with it. So we also talked about DEI. And we both agreed that it's not right to live in a world where, you could have one person who's perfectly right for the job, but a person who is less qualified is going to get the job because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity. We don't like that. That doesn't make sense to me. It should be a fair shake. We did say that we agree that between men and women, he actually said this and I agreed with him. When it comes to DEI, when it comes to men and women, you could make the argument for that, so that if there's a job opening up, women could have a better opportunity than men, just because they're. Well, I don't even know. I can't speak for why Nick said that, but he said that makes more sense to him because of pay and things like that. Women make less money than men more often. And you hear about that from time to time. That is something that shouldn't be. But interesting that Trump suddenly does the about face. I thought that Trump would have, triple down, froze the funding, and then actually, instead of freezing the funding, wiped it out. Or maybe sent the National Guard to shut down these businesses or these institutions, or on the suicide prevention hotline, it'd be somebody talking there. All of a sudden the door gets kicked in. They rip the headset off of the chick, and the National Guard guy grabs the microphone and goes, "Fuck you," to the guy on the other line who's white knuckling it with a razor blade about to go into his wrist. That's what I expected Trump to do. Instead, he does the opposite and says, you know what? You're right. So how does that make you feel, ladies and gentlemen, who hate Trump? Because if I'm Trump, I look at this and say, yeah, truly, I am caring and benevolent, and I continue to do the right thing. I mean, I trumpet that if I'm Trump. Also, Trump has decided, in this day in Trump, which is something we've been talking about quite a bit since the inauguration, is it is no longer, he is trying to end. So let's say you're a 17-year-old and you want to become a 17-year-old dude and you want to become a chick. So you're getting various gender-affirming care or whatever, like the medicines or whatever type of needs you may have when you're going through that. I don't know. I've not done that. It's he is aiming to end federal support for gender transitions for those under the age of 19. Now, for me, and I don't have a dog in the fight, on its surface, I say something like, well, what's wrong with that? Why is that a big deal? And I think most would argue that, you know, in a lot of situations, you might have a child who at a very young age feels terrible in their own skin and wants to become a woman or a man. Now, there are those on the right who have this absurd point of view that society and parents are like forcing their children to change their gender. I don't believe that. And I do have a transgender person in my life. Our beloved soon-to-be son-in-law, Ash, was born a young lady. And so, I've had conversations with Ash. I go, all right, now help me understand what's going on here. I've got a unique opportunity to get very specific as to what happens in your specific brain about being a transgender person. So take me through this. And I got, then she, now he, got very specific about, okay, so growing up, it was like, I wanted to do all boy things. I wanted to dress like a boy. I wanted to act like a boy. I love women. And I feel terrible with my body the way it is. I hate boobs. I hate that I have reproductive organs of a woman. We had this conversation. I go, so you were 100% sure even at a young age? Yes. And then as you became an adult, even more permanent. So, what the fuck? I don't think there's moms and dads that are like, boy, old Peter there, I think Peter needs to be a woman. Let's go and get the surgery done. You know, that scenario doesn't happen. I don't believe that, and I don't give a shit what anybody tells me and tries to convince me that it does. Fuck you. There's no way that that's actually happening. Jeremy says, I feel like Trump really likes creating issues out of nothing, then coming through and quote unquote fixing them just in the nick of time. I've heard another person mention that exact same thing. Throws a hand grenade in the room and then, oh no, wait a minute. And then, yeah, I've actually heard that. That's an interesting point. But he seems pretty serious about this, aiming to end the federal support for gender transitions under the age of 19. There's a couple specifics in this bit of information that was released by the White House about it. The order directs that federally run insurance programs, including TRICARE for military families and Medicaid, which is health care for the indigent, exclude coverage for such care and calls on the Department of Justice, I can't read today, to vigorously pursue litigation and legislation to oppose the practice. Medicaid programs in some states cover gender-affirming care. The new order suggests that the practice could end and targets hospitals and universities that receive federal money and provide the care. The language, and this was an executive order. The language in the order used words such as maiming, sterilizing, and mutilation. Contradicts what is typical for gender-affirming care in the U.S. On the Truth Social platform, Trump called gender-affirming care barbaric medical procedures. I don't know about that, man. Puberty blockers. They wouldn't have access to those things like that. All right, so that's the latest. That is what Trump is doing right now. There's a lot more to this article. I'm kind of glossing over it as I look, but I'll end up linking it up in the show notes of this abbreviated edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast. So this will be a rare rapid fire sponsor session. Yesterday's asshole of the day was Dank DeMoss. Dark. The fat fuck rapper who's suing Lyft. Be thinking of your asshole of the day. It's got to be Trump, right? Frank Foss is the licensed insurance policy independent agent / broker of the show. You can find him at buyinsurancehere.com. Tag Accounting is where you want to get your accounting done for the end of the year, for tax year 2024. TagCPA.net. Buy now, refinance later with the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Get your cannabis from Green Medicine Shop in Greenville, Michigan. And get a roof on your house from my friends at Werner Roofing. WernerRoofing.com. Bob says asshole of the day is free beer and Kenny. It's not Kenny. Why would it be Kenny? I think Kenny is upset because I made the crack that I was blocking his spirituality or keeping him from Jesus or some shit like that. And then the new patient Kenny flipped out and bailed. And I'm like, you got to quit doing that. You got to lighten up, man. Come on now. All right. I would love to go ahead and read all your great comments in the chat, but I'm out of time. Thank you. The asshole of the day, great suggestion, is free beer for making life miserable on the rest of his compadres on the show. Not even about going after me. I don't care about that. That actually makes me happy. It's being such a bitch. What an asshole. My God. Okay, have a good one, folks. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.